Evening. So we're here to do the match reaction to Bodo Glimt 0, Arsenal 1. Got the job done, got the 3 points. But basically just move on now to PSV next week. Big up to Moss. How you doing, mate?
Oh, real good. Afternoon here in Saskatoon. Fall weather. Windy, sunny, starting to get cold.
Yeah, autumn now, innit?
So did you ever see how cold it was up there in Norway?
No, but it looked pretty cold because the coaches were really struggling on the bench. I noticed
the fans were wearing,
they're wearing their big winter coats.
Heavy jackets. It seemed like
so I'm pretty sure it was pretty cold in Norway. But what did you overall? What did you think of the game before we go into little bits of it?
Wasn't bad, wasn't good. You know, like I said to you maybe earlier, it was kind of just get the business done at hand. A lot of us are saying 3-0, 3-1, those kind of scores, 4-1 I saw in Discords and things like that. But, man, just winning is good. Like, basically, PSV is going to win today. You know, whether we win one and lose one with them, get, both draws, we're looking like we'll win the group, I would say, hey?
Yeah, because I think they're on 4 points, so they've drawn a game already.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we beat them next week, and even
they're
if
up
we
on
lose
Zurich already.
Yeah, if we beat them next week, and then if the worst case scenario we lose to them abroad, then we still win the group pretty much anyway. So I'm not too worried too much.
There was some criticism of Odegaard and Vieira. In some of the shows I'm already seeing and comments, it's ridiculous. I mean, like you were saying during the match, Bobby, you got to take it with a grain of salt going up to Norway, and playing on that kind of pitch. It looked good, but it's still, like you said, and during the game, it spins crazy. We don't play on it a lot. We don't even practice on it that much. It's just different, And I thought they adapted and handled it well and got the job done.
Exactly. I just want to say big up to Luke. Big up to, I know he's struggling with putting his kids to bed, bless him. I hope he managed to achieve it. I've got to put mine after.
Odegaard. I got to put my Odegaard.
But what I would say about today's game, because obviously I've just done the watch along, I don't think we even come out of third gear, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think we dealt with it okay. The stats kind of say that they struggled more on the actual pitch than we did. Possession, we were better.
They're a good passing squad. It's proven.
Yeah, the way that they play, I quite like them. Solbakken is someone.
They remind me of Brighton, kind of.
Yeah, well, Solbakken, the one that I've been talking about for a few weeks now, he performed very well. Their number 9 was what was his name, Ed Enschrood or something like that. He was very good.
And there was a young kid that's pretty tall that came on. I was going to mention. Gronbach came on very early. He's a tidy midfielder.
Yeah, I think they were a very good outfit, and I don't think we left third gear. We actually kept a clean sheet, which makes me happy anyway.
Did you notice someone was saying Arteta looked super angry at the end? Well, I just think he wanted a little more out of the guys he was given a chance to.
Yeah, I think he was just getting frustrated, which, to be fair, it was
a little lackluster.
It was frustrating, but it was just the pitch didn't help perfectly. And Luke's saying here that I thought we rode our luck. Oh, sorry.
They could have.
They had at least. They did. They had some very good chances. Bodo away is a good win, though. They are a decent side. There's no knocking them. I thought the way that Knutson sets them off.
So they would go to with West Ham. Whatever.
If they finish third, they would then fall into the comp. Yeah,
Zurich's not very good.
No, Zurich's not very good. That should be a much easier win at home when we play them.
Bodo will beat them at home.
Should do. But as I was saying, Knutson doesn't change from his game plan. That's how he plays. He plays so deep and from the back. As a Bodo fan, I'd like to be really nervous because they go so close to the goalkeeper, so close to their own goal line. But it works for them.
What do you think? Early on, there was that Saka could have scored right off the hop.
Yeah.
Maybe we would have crushed them. Like, it would have opened it up so crazy early. But we still got a pretty early goal.
Yeah. And what I would say, because
I just really wanted Eddie to get one. He was going for a record, hey?
Yeah, well, my theory on Eddie's not going to change. I don't think he's just that good. You know, I think Balogun's better personally, but there we go.
I thought he had more energy than most, though. But it's hard when everyone's kind of a little lackluster and tentative, and when you're the striker, it's hard to be that guy.
Luke's saying here, I thought we lacked intensity. Our passing was poor today. Yeah, maybe our players weren't entirely comfortable on the pitch. I don't think they were, but our passing was better than theirs, so that says quite a lot, to be honest.
Yeah,
will be a difficult place for PSV to go.
Yeah, PSV very good quality.
They've drawn against them, haven't they? Because they've only got 4 points, so they've drawn with Bodo already. But I don't know if that
they worked Zurich, and I think they're working them again. I'll just check here.
Well, a lot of people got to realise Bodo have won.
West Ham's up 2-0, and PSV's up 3-0, Bobby.
Yeah, so Bodo have won 14 games in a row in Europe, and in those games, Celtic and Roma were 2 of the teams.
Took apart Roma, like
exactly.
I was like, really?
You have to say that we can't be hard on the way that we've done that, because we didn't let a goal in. Yes, they gave us some issues, but we came away with a win. Not many teams have done that. So for me, I'm well chuffed.
That mid that we like and Creambone really likes, Sangari, he got a goal for PSV today.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's good. So I'm going to go very quickly into the players. What would you give Turner as a rating for you?
Very safe, but I mean, it's hard to give a really high rating when you don't have too much to do. But I don't know. I think him growing up in the States, he's probably played on these types of pitches quite a bit. And MLS, there's, some clubs that go with it. And he looked really good with his distribution today, and everyone's so critical of him on that. But he was hitting some chips across right to guys' feet.
What I would say, the only thing I would say about his
probably give him an 8, though,
Yeah, his distribution today was 100% accurate. But what I would like from him was it to be a little bit lower, because he does this massive kick up to get to the player. And that slows down the game a bit for me.
Yeah, I agree too. And you want to get him to the quick. Ramsdale's really good at that, getting it done really quick out to players that need to get it wide. I just think his hands are very safe. He made the saves he had to make. And I think our team is learning, and Arteta has maybe emphasized it, or the coaches have. Don't be passing it back to him, especially on a pitch like this too. And who knows what happens? Like, just don't do it.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot today, that there was the option to pass it back to Matt, but I'm glad that he didn't, because that pitch, everyone would blame Matt or the person that's passing back, but it would have been the pitch that would have caused the issue. So I'm glad that they didn't. And
I kind of wanted to see that Matt you talked about, Matt Smith. I've seen him on the under-21s. People are highly rating him today, and he said deserved a chance. I wouldn't have mind seeing him come on.
I think I said during the watch along that if we went up 2, I would have liked to seen Bradley Ibrahim come on, or even Edwards come on.
Yeah, I saw Edwards in person too, remember? And he was all over the pitch that one game. Him and that guy we sold, James. Was it James? His name?
Amari Hutchinson.
No, not Amari Hut. We sold them in the summer.
To who?
Was it like Portsmouth or Southampton or something? No. James Olinica, or I can never say.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Edward were so busy this one game, and it made it so easy. That was the game I went to, and Marquinhos got a couple of headers, but man, they were doing the business that day. Yeah. So I would have liked to see him, but I mean, there's so many. I mean, you want to see Marquinhos, you want to see Vieira, Reece Nelson. Everyone was saying deserved a chance, but as far as Turner goes, solid 8, and didn't have much to do really.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. So I'm just going to get into what Luke's saying here. At the end of the day, cup football is about winning. We got the win. We're in a good position. We've now got PSV home and away. That will decide who goes through.
Do you have a chance to check, Bobby, when Carabao for us begins?
Oh, crikey.
You said maybe it's towards the end of this month?
Yeah, but I don't know now, to be honest, because I'll have a quick look.
Those will be midweeks, right?
Yeah, they'll have to be win weeks. Yeah, for the. So Ben White, what would you say about Ben White today?
Didn't really notice him much, eh? Did you? Like,
no, not really.
A lot of times that's a good thing as a defender, but yeah, 7, and he got the job done, and it wasn't too hard. And
yeah, he was the one that should have stopped Pellegrino for me a few times.
Yeah, Pellegrino gave him it's a little bit,
but yeah, I think 7's a fair score for Ben. Let's go to the left side, where I have to say Kieran Tierney was like at some point right centre midfield, left centre midfield, playing attacking midfielder.
He seems
Kieran Tierney was definitely a left back today.
Yeah.
Oh, Luke's saying here that the game is the beginning of November, so it's between the Chelsea and the Wolves game.
Oh, it's in November, right at the beginning of November.
Yeah, thank you for that, Luke. So, what would you give Kieran today?
Maybe like a 7.5. I thought he was better than he has been, actually, and I always said he's probably pretty good on these kind of pitches.
Yeah, he had a couple of passes.
You could see he dealt with the bounce and the spin a little better than most at the back there.
Yeah.
He knew to be back a little further at times, because it skips. And
yeah, I'm going to test to see if Tony's listening. So what are you going to give Holdini? Because this is all he calls about is Holdini.
I call him Holdinho.
Yeah, I know you call him Holdinho, and Tony calls him Holdini.
He's Brazilian.
Yeah, so what would you give Holding?
He was pretty safe in a 7, nothing amazing at all, but I would have liked to see him get a little more active when we had free kicks and corners and stuff. I mean, he's good at it, and it just seemed like we were being tentative in all phases of the game and not going for things, like we usually do.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on to my favorite, Saliba.
Oh, yeah, he was smooth today. Solid 8.
Yeah,
there was time, and I don't know if he played on these kind of pitches, but he dealt with it very easily too. Like he played the bounces and the spin and the skipping of it very well too.
See what I love about Saliba, he did an error against Liverpool, but within seconds he cured the problem. And dealt with it.
He's such an athlete, eh?
He's so clever.
He'd probably play any sport.
Yeah, honestly, that guy is incredible. I have to say, I'm loving him. Oh,
it's one of our best signings ever, and everyone was so negative about it. Is the funny thing.
I was never negative. I would have loved to have had him always at Arsenal. Never to be sent out.
This kid's going to be awesome. I always say.
Well, I rated him higher than Fofana. Fofana was all right, but Saliba always stood out for me.
So, literally, he's got to be over 100 million value already.
Yeah, easy. Awesome. All right, so we'll move into defensive midfield. So, Sambi. Yeah, let's do the Sambi first.
I like Sambi. I know King likes him a lot, thinks he has a lot of potential. I thought he just got the business done. He made sure he didn't make mistakes. Was a little deeper than I would have liked, but that's, I think, what he was told to do today.
Yeah, exactly.
And just very safe, 7.5 kind of thing.
All right. Let's move on to your number one player. So you know who we're talking about.
But, and I was going to ask you, Bobby, like I see on my Score app, I see on Arsenal app, and then the game comes on and these European announcers are talking and they show the lineup and the formation. It's always wrong. Like,
the formation they gave me was like 3-5-2, 3-5, whatever it was.
I'm like, we're not playing like that.
No, as soon as they lined up, and it was like Nielsen was on the left, I was like, yeah, you got that wrong, mate.
They had like a 3-5-2 or something.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever. But yeah, go on, Odegaard.
So, did you see him playing more back in Xhaka's spot? Because I was like, I think you mentioned it during the game. Vieira was actually doing it.
Yeah, it was annoying.
But and you agreed with me that Vieira should be in Saka's spot and really give this a go with those two.
Yeah.
But he wanted to give Xhaka a rest, and I can't blame him.
Yeah. So what are you going to give Odegaard?
Oh, he was an 8. He's always good for me, but he could have been better. I mean, maybe 7.5. He could have been a little more offensive and took the bull by the horns, kind of thing. But
yeah, for me, it wasn't.
He really kept the other team on their back heels. But is what I'm trying to get at is you were a bit scared of him.
Yeah, I have to be honest. That wasn't Odegaard's best game.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm going to go into Vieira now because I think that Arteta lined those two up wrong.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think Odegaard should have been the one pulled back a little bit.
I was happy they were both in. I've been wanting to see it. It wasn't the way I wanted to see it. Like
no, that's not the way that those two are going to work. Vieira is not defensive minded.
And you can really tell when he was on the right wing a couple times, and I saw him in the under-21s do that. He was just lighting it up and just loves that coming off the wing, like Saka does now.
Yeah,
that's why I think right before the match I said I would have kept Nelson to sub in for Saka, and I would have put Saka on the left and let Vieira and Odegaard work that one side and dominate.
Actually, I before we get into Nelson's rating, why is he playing on the left? I don't get
this. He would have been way more comfortable on the right. I would have given Saka a rest today. I just would have.
Yeah, I'm not understanding this Nelson on the left.
But Saka won the game. Never got it, too, so I can't doubt him.
As a youngster, he's always been on the right for us.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we're trying to put him on the left. It doesn't make sense to me personally. I just wouldn't be doing it. So, what would you give rating for Nelson as we quickly?
Nelson wasn't too good, like 6.5.
Yeah,
I agree. And Vieira wasn't his greatest either. Maybe he's lucky to get a 7 for Vieira. I think Luke gave him a 6 here, but
yeah, I'll get into Luke shortly.
I thought Vieira could have been better, but like you're saying, if he would have played in his spot, I think he would have ripped that team apart. And I mean, look at how that Saka was too, but I think Vieira would have done just the same or better in that spot.
Yeah,
but I can't diminish MA when Saka gets the goal and we win the game. So
well, yeah, but I just think that in future, if he's gonna pick those two, you have to have Vieira as the more forward-thinking, and Odegaard's going to great midfielder.
Saka was on the left side. Why not do it again? You don't have to be stuck in this right side thing with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good player, very adaptable.
Yeah. So you've given Vieira's his score, so we'll go on to Saka then.
Solid for winning the game, getting off. Don't get hurt, main thing.
Yeah.
And win the game for us. He could have scored maybe a couple times even. And solid 7.
Yeah. Well,
maybe even 7.5.
Yeah. So let's go on to
the man of the match. Yeah, for getting the goal. I just think we were so safe. And look at Luke's rating on Saliba. I probably would have gave man of the match Saliba because he just did keep everything so safe back there.
Yeah. So let's go on to Eddie. Because I kind of agree with Luke's score and Eddie, to be fair, but we'll get into Luke's in a minute. But
yeah, I just thought he was the whole team was lackluster, and then that affects Eddie's game big time. But he was given the hustle, a 6 at least.
Okay,
6.5. But it affects the striker so much if the intensity, like Luke and you were saying, is down. It affects his game the most out of everyone.
Yeah. So we'll get into Luke's comments.
He was working hard.
So this is Luke's ratings. Turner 7, 7, 8. That's fine. White 7, yeah. Saliba definitely an 8. Holding 6, yeah. Tierney 7, yeah. Odegaard 6, yeah. I know Moss is not going to totally agree with the 6, but
he's such a good field general and just puts
it wasn't his greatest
work rate in, but it was such a stagnant game with them back there, and we were willing to accept that.
Yeah,
so it's
Lokonga with a 6, Vieira with a 6, Saka with 8, man of the match, Eddie with a 5.
I really think they just didn't want to be giving up holes, and Vieira and Odegaard were a little further back than they should have been.
Yeah, normally. And Nelson 5. It's very hard to disagree with those ratings, to be fair, because it wasn't the greatest match, but we've got the 3 points. There's going to be a lot of those games this weekend. We now obviously move on to Leeds.
Look at they're going to get no practice in time for Leeds.
Yeah, exactly.
So they had to take this practice during the week, and this match is we're really getting ready for Leeds and get the job done, but we're preparing for Leeds still.
Yeah, exactly. Moss, thank you ever so much for joining me on a very quick review. But Moss, you might want to listen to this because you might want to tune in sometime tomorrow. Tomorrow at 12:30 UK time, there is a stream going out on the Armory that is talking about Arsenal being potential title contenders. It's a huge stream. Man. We've got the biggest people from the Armory joining it tomorrow. We've got Gunnar King on there.
Harry mentioned this today too. Sorry to cut you off, but how all these other all these other football YouTubers are talking about, are they title contenders, and we haven't really been doing it. It's all them because they want us to be the hype merchants and then throw it in our face when we're not, fall down to third or something in January or something.
Well, tomorrow we are doing it. We've got Gunnar King, Tony,
all guys I respect. It seems
all the Armory, and G Talks, who's got his own YouTube that does Arsenal stuff. G Talks, yeah, he's a big Arsenal YouTuber. I think Gumza might be free. There's about 6 people joining tomorrow. It's a massive stream. So if you can tune in, please do, because it's going to be hilarious and very, very funny. I think there will be a review for the Leeds game coming up at some point over the weekend. I'm not sure what time. But
we're the Sunday UK time at 2 or 2:30 or something.
It's a 2:00 kickoff, I think, Sunday. Yeah. I won't be able to do it. So
I'm like 7 a.m. match here.
Yeah, so obviously now the important part is now move on to Leeds, try and get the win at Leeds, and then next Thursday I will be back with a watch along for the PSV game.
That'll be a
5:45 kickoff again. No, I hate these kickoffs.
At home or in Holland?
I think it's at home, isn't it? Next week.
Yeah, they got rearranged, so I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's just double check before I say the wrong thing.
Also Sunday, me, you, probably Luke, and maybe
Oh yeah, well,
once is for the red zone, but yeah, we can always talk. We can always talk what's going on Saturday, Sunday Premier League during those shows.
Yeah, because we've got
quite active.
I've got Tottenham, Everton Saturday, and then I've got a small game, Liverpool, Man City.
2 or 3 games for Goal Rush.
Is there? Is that what it is?
Crappy again.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
2 games: Fulham, Bournemouth, Wolves, Nottingham Forest.
Oh, hang on.
I might just do it to do it, but geez,
I'm trying to work out when this game's been rearranged.
Leicester Palace is 5:30 a.m. Oh my god.
I'm trying to find this game here.
For me?
No, my one. Oh yeah, so it's the Emirates next week. 6 o'clock kickoff.
Wonder what the championship is.
So they've just made up a whole new time for next week. So yeah, next week I'll be back. Arsenal versus PSV for a watch along. There'll be a preview. There'll be a review as always. But right now, me and Moss, thank you ever so much for joining me, Moss. Short notice, I know, but
yeah,
appreciate it. But guys, see you very, very soon, everyone. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for